What's going on? Your friendly neighborhood turtle hermit is back with round 2 of the very last DPP tournament held in Smogon Tour 13. This round I get paired against Gockel, who I also don't know anything about, but the rounds always get tougher for me when it comes to Smogon Tour, so I can expect my opponent to be good. I know this is my last stand, so I've definitely got to go all out, and let's see if I can continue to advance. And here we go. I lead with Raiko, he leads with Yuxi. Raiko can't do much to Yuxi at all, and I also don't want to get tricked a possible choice Scarf, even though Scarf Raiko isn't necessarily bad. I go to Bronze on since if he does trick he gets a Toxic Orb, but he sets up Stealth Rock instead. I go ahead and set up my own SR since this Bronzong isn't threatened by Yuxi. He shows Reflect, so it's a dual screen Yuxi. Got two options, either trick my Toxic Orb now or go to Gyarados to stop further shenanigans. Light Screen is going up regardless, and I choose the latter since I figured even if I trick, Light Screen will last 8 turns since Yuxi's faster and will get it off before it gets the Toxic Orb, and I also may need to trick something else later on. I go immediately for Taunt to prevent something like Yawn or Memento, but he reveals Breloom, which was a bit suspicious for me. Why would anyone switch Breloom into a Gyarados? But I didn't think his Breloom was Scarf because he had a dual screen Yuxi lead, which had me thinking he was running a heavy offense team, so this could be Swords Dance. I switch out knowing something's coming, banking most likely on Spore. Go to Raiko, he shows Stone Edge. I stay in here and really not sure why. He didn't show Toxic or Life Orb, so I should have seen here that he was Scarf, but I didn't, and he got another Stone Edge off KOing Raiko. Double switching to Bronzong would have been the better move. And I reveal Flygon. I go immediately for Fire Blast, but he switches to reveal Heatran. I guess I made it too obvious, but it's not like the team can't take on Heatran. And with it being at +1, not knowing what type of Heatran it is, I go to my best switch in for it, Tyranitar. He's going to explode immediately though. In hindsight, it's not too surprising since after seeing I had 2 answers for it in Gyarados and Flygon, he probably wanted to catch either one. Tyranitar takes a hefty chunk though, more than I expected, and he brings Breloom back in. Bronzong's the safest bet at this point to see what he does. I go to it and he opts for Seed Bomb, and Reflect's going to wear off, and I decide to show that I carry Hidden Power Ice here, hoping to catch him off guard. And I still don't think I realized that he was Scarfed, or I just plain forgot. He decides to show Dragonite, possibly hoping to set up if it's DD. I definitely catch him off guard though, not in the way I intended, and Light Screen wears off. He's got no choice but to attack now since Dragonite will be O-code otherwise. He shows Fire Punch and he does carry Life Orb as well, so it was Dragon Dance after all. And I finish it off with another HP Ice and he reveals Kingdra. And at this point I try to get a Toxic Orb on Kingdra since I was assuming DD Chest or Rest, the worst set for me to face one setup, but he just Waterfalls to finish Bronzong off. I believe Kingdra has Life Orb as well, so I go back to Flygon. I figured I would either outspeed Kingdra here or force it to Outrage. If it's faster and outrages, I can bring Gara in for the Intimidate and try to go from there. Turns out Flygon does outspeed and I get off a Draco Meteor, calling it, and he reveals Jirachi on the free switch. Pokes are just dropping left to right. He stays in to set up a Calm Mind, and I just decide to get as much miles out of Flygon as I can and stay in the Earthquake. I don't think he expected that, but I could be wrong since it didn't OHKO. Because of my limited attack investment. He does outspeed, and EQ did a huge chunk though, so it's super Rachi. I fought her Flygon since the rest of the team either outspeeds it or can set up on it, and he finishes Flygon with a +1 Psychic. I revealed my last, which is Jolteon. The only thing Jirachi will beat is Gyarados, assuming it has Thunderbolt, so he sacks Jirachi here to get a free switch into Breloom. I finish it with Thunderbolt. I definitely know it's Scarf by now if I didn't earlier. I go for Protective Scout, what he'll lock into, and he chooses Seed Bomb again. Jolteon has Hidden Power Grass, so I figured it couldn't OHKO Breloom. The plan here was to wish and let Breloom KO Jolteon with Seed Bomb, bringing Gara in for the Intimidate and start to set up while Wish heals it the next turn. He Seed Bombs and it doesn't OHKO, which I was shocked. This turns out to be a big misplay on my part, and you'll see why later on. I don't exactly stick to my plan either, choosing to switch out, which was another bad play since now Jolteon can't come back in due to Stealth Rock. Gara still manages to live the Seed Bomb, but this could have been even worse if he critted, and I would have lost Gyarados for nothing. And I guaranteed the death of Jolteon and introduced hacks into the situation, so it's not good at all. Realizing here that he could crit me, I go immediately for Bounce instead of setting up. He throws Seed Bomb before I go up, and I wanted to force Breloom out so I could get Yuxi in and maybe have a chance to set up one DD and hopefully block its screens at the same time. He does switch back to Yuxi as I come down on the bounce, but I miss. Now I can't let screens go back up, otherwise Breloom might be able to stomach a bounce. So I go for Taunt. He does outspeed though and gets a Reflect up before the Taunt goes off. And I know Yuxi can't do much else, so this is my chance to dance up so I can sweep. He goes back to Breloom after U-turning. I go for the bounce and for the win here. But because I'm adamant Gyarados and he is jolly with max speed, he's actually going to outpace me and get the Seed Bomb off. I was floored since I thought for sure I'd outrun a Breloom, even a Scarf one. But it wasn't until after the match when I checked and saw that Scarf Jolly Breloom outruns +1 Adamant Gyarados by 1 point. And with Gyarados going down, Jolteon dying as soon as it comes in, and Breloom outrunning Tyranitar, that will be the match and the end of my Smogon Tour 13 run. It was a good game overall. I was pretty disappointed in myself after the match with Blue Star and after this match against Gockel. There were mistakes I could have avoided. Going back to turn 18, what I should have done was just attack with Thunderbolt instead of Wish, since Jolteon actually outruns Scarf Breloom by 1 point, and T-Bolt 2-hit KO'd at the health that Breloom was at. Then all he has left is Uxie, who is not an offensive threat. Unfortunately, that's not the way it went. Anyway, guys, the last series on this channel is over, and we are reaching the end of the JackieChun saga. There are 5 more battles underway, so stay tuned and find out what happens. And until next episode, guys, Chun is out. Peace.